You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, that guy who asks for your number and then asks for it again and again, we'll tell you what to do with that guy. Also, why goats smell bad and the male version of booty shorts. Periodically, I get messages through Facebook because my Facebook is public. And I get messages saying, "What are you doing these days?" or are you on the air? Do you have a podcast? I mean, these people have figured out how to find me on Facebook, message me on Facebook, and yet somehow Google has eluded them.
I get the same thing. I like to reply to people that say and tell them that I'm dead and this is computer talking.
You are so mean.
I know, but
they're people who like you and they want to know what you're doing.
Most of them hate me.
Oh, no, this is, thank you so much. I loved your show. I'm glad I found you. And what are you doing? I'm thinking, take 5 more minutes. I used to actually make a space to answer people and say, well, I'm doing this and doing that, and I have the book. And then finally I thought, it's kind of like that guy in college. There was this guy, I thought he was really hot. I thought he was really interesting, which of course means that he was a total juvenile delinquent drug addict from a rich family. Dissipated. That was my type at that time. And he would ask me for my phone number regularly. We would do something as a group or with people, and he'd say, what would you give me your phone number? And I would give him my phone number. About the 4th time, I thought, he's making fun of me. This is just his way of making fun of me, because if it were really important to him, he would just call.
Right?
Yeah. So I quit giving him my phone number. But I'm very ashamed to admit that it took me 4 times. That is an accurate count. I have lied before and said it was 3. But the true count is that it was the 4th time that I said, no, you have been given my number 3 times. And if you had any intention of calling me, you would have done it. And that's embarrassing.
I'm watching poor Kevin. He doesn't know what to do in this heat.
The goat?
He's going into his house, laying down, comes back out. We have their whole areas covered with this big heavy canvas.
Okay, so he has shade.
Just where the sun is right now, it's not. In about an hour, the sun will be over his canvas and he'll have shade.
You could try getting your young adult daughter's Kmart splash pool, see if they'd like that.
Yeah, see, goats would hate that. They're such weird creatures. Goats will not step in water. Like if I spill their water dish, I have to move it because they won't step in it. They won't cross a river. They don't swim. They won't even they don't like water.
Probably another reason they are famous for smelling so lovely. I still remember we had an exchange student from France when I was at college, and her entire thing was telling all of the Americans about how inferior we were to the French. She also got herself the nickname The Curtain because she liked to drape herself over the male foreign students, usually by sitting in their laps. And on this particular day, she had thrown herself across the lap and shoulders of a young man who came from Germany and who was speaking German to my friend. And when I asked my girlfriend what he had said about this French student, she said to me quietly, he says she smells like a flock of goats.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. We weren't really too nice to her after a while. We got a little tired of her. She showed up at a dinner one night and took great offense when someone asked her to pass the wine to them, and informed us that in France, the lady never touches the wine bottle. And so we didn't pour her any wine all night. We just made her sit there in front of an empty glass. So what are you going to do for your poor suffering goat?
I'm going to have to go buy him more straw. That's what they do. Straw is like their answer to everything.
Okay. They like, because it circulates air and they can lie down and they can dig into it. Is that the deal?
I don't know. They poop on it.
Oh, great. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. They just like it.
Proof, if you needed it, that animals are not like people, because usually when I'm in a bad mood, the spousal unit does not say, I know what'll cheer you up, a new toilet. Although I do have one girlfriend whose husband gifted her with a toilet for her birthday.
No, no, no.
And anticipating the question of our podcast listener, no, a new toilet had not been on her honey-do list. Which reminds me, we're moving into spring and summer honey-do list season.
Mm-hmm.
And I foolishly asked the spousal unit if he had the prior honey-do list.
It's that kind of like your cord drawer, where there's just like a whole bunch of lists from the last 25 years just in the
It's a
drawer.
good question. I
He has to
haven't
go through
checked.
it and find out which is the most correct.
I haven't checked. I should start dating them. I mean, because I would assume when you're done or mostly done, you would shred it and put it away. But you've raised an excellent point. The spousal unit does not get rid of things. The spousal unit believes that everything will be useful one day, which is probably why I'm still married to him. We figure someday I'll be
You're
useful.
still useful. Yeah. See, there's silver lining to every cloud.
Every little thing. So I said, well, I will redo the honey-do list, but why don't you start with item X? And item X has been on this list for like 6 years. So I think I'm just going to leave item X hanging out there for a while and not amend the honey-do list. There's got to be a stratagem for dealing with the honey-do list in such a way that you actually get more stuff done. But I don't know what it is. I keep trying different versions of the list.
Was it inside stuff or outside stuff?
Well, I tried to give the inside stuff over the winter, but over the winter he was too busy. But now he's finished a bunch of work, so I don't even care anymore if it happens in the winter or the spring. I just need it. Here's what it is. I bought something that was inexpensive, and the reason it turns out that it was inexpensive was that it was made like crap. It was,
You're just learning that.
yeah, well, sometimes you get a deal on stuff every now and then. Here's the weird part. Okay, so we redid the bathroom before we moved in here like 10 years ago. And I bought this vanity online with sinks and faucets. And some parts of it you can't screw up, like the stone on top. You can't really screw that up. It works. The faucets work. I guess the lesson I should take from this is that it's not a good idea to go for the bargain item on something that can leak, smoke, or explode. But on this item, the stuff that was cheaply done that falls apart is not the stuff that you would expect. It seems to have been designed by the same people who designed birthday party piñatas. Like, I've never had a piece of furniture where the finish just flakes off in big chunks. But it does. And then the other weird thing about it is that while the faucets and the handles and everything are great, whoever had your drain deconstruct itself? Like, what? I mean, we just
this
sort of
for lead.
take a drain for granted. Well, I'm not licking out the contents of the drain, so it doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter if it's made out of lead. It's not like I'm drinking it out from under the sink. But
I missed my up here. You have a very slim margin of when you can ask for things to be done, especially outside.
because it's 120 degrees out there or
Right,
pouring rain.
we go from winter
Yes.
to
Blast furnace.
summer
Yes.
to 90s, whatever, and then monsoon season starts next week. So, Frankie conveniently has things going on for the next few weeks.
How convenient. Yeah. What is there, another fake Grateful Dead festival that he's going to go to or what?
Horseshoe tournament.
What?
Horseshoe tournaments are a big deal up
A
here.
horse? Are you kidding me?
No,
There is
I'm
such a
not kidding
thing.
you.
There is such a thing. Is it-
horseshoe tournaments. They throw horseshoes and they hit a metal thing and it goes ding, and they get points. Haven't you ever heard the only time almost counts is in horseshoes?
No.
Oh well, I guess you haven't lived in the streets.
I guess you haven't. Who plays horseshoes up there in the
My
mountains
husband.
of Arizona?
Everybody,
Really?
they play horseshoes. That's what they do. They throw real horseshoes at each other.
Do you guys have a library or some place where you could go to do something that doesn't involve two pieces of metal being banged together?
And they do it barefoot, like with no shirts on too.
Is that a rule?
It's a rule I like if I'm watching a bunch of guys that are in good shape.
Well, how do you know they're in good shape? I mean, it doesn't strike
Well,
me as a
because if they don't
particularly.
have shirts on, you can tell right away.
Oh no, I've noticed that in Chicago anyway, the guys who are first to take their shirts off are frequently the guys who really should not be taking their shirts off. It's kind of the male version of the booty short problem.
I just gotta say, next time you're here, you'll have to come. I'll take you to a horseshoe tournament.
Or there's a
And you
real
will be.
incentive. I tell you, I want to buy my
Yep.
ticket right now.
Yep. All you can drink. Free beer.
I don't think I want to see this at all. But if I do come, I'll put my booty shorts on. If you've made it this far, chances are you've been enjoying Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. In which case, you might also like my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. You can find that at your neighborhood independent bookstore or on Amazon. Marcy and I really appreciate your good reviews wherever you care to leave them. Your kind words help the podcast grow. Thanks.